So being in business for 20 years, what are some of the adversity that really you have to overcome?
I have a client that will spend $3,000 on a wedding, or $300,000 on a wedding. There's one shot to make it perfect.
Not to think that you're better than anybody else.
Can you elaborate on that?
That's the biggest thing with nowadays. Everybody wants to have if they're the best at stuff. Like I tell my kids all the time, I'm not the best. I stay consistent.
Welcome back to another episode of the Intrepidus Podcast, episode 13, with your hosts, Dan and Anthony. Today we got a special guest from C4 Event Group, Chris LeConte. Welcome to the show, Chris.
I feel like I'm in court. You like that? Thank you for having me, guys.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Tell us a little bit about what you do. You answered some questions prior to about 20 years in business, not particularly this business, but tell us a little bit about C4.
C4 was created at a diner, to be honest with you. I had, which one? It was on Route 35 somewhere. I'm near the old Deco. So I'll get to that in a second. So the true story, I had left my old company that I had helped build for quite a long time. And, free dudes were like, yo, let's have a meeting, let's chat. One guy's a used car salesman. He was telling me how he knows to make money and not work. So I'm just sitting there eating my eggs. I'm like 350 pounds at the time. I was chowing down eating. And I'm like, all right, so you want to make money and not work? The other guy was like, I'll be contract with another DJ company, but I'll work. I'm like, all right, cool. Third guy was just there for like moral support, putting the group together. So I'm like, can I get more like bacon and eggs? I swear this job, I'm going to make it like a joke, but it's not. So I'm like, all right, I'm eating. And there's three guys in me there, and not one person came up with a business idea. I'm dead ass serious. Not one person going to put an idea on how we were going to make money. So I said, all right, cool. I said, let's just get the check. Then the one guy who was older than me at the time, like a lot older, he's like, all this fault, what would we call the company? It's irrelevant. No one came here with a business plan. No one came here with what we're going to do to make money. All right, you got connection. I'm just throwing things out there. Homedale, you're cool. You're from Freehold. You're from, Manalapan. Let's crush these four markets. Zero, nothing. So I'm a little bit, I could be a wise ass when my balls get twisted and I'm eating away. I'm like, yeah, let's get the check. And the guy's like, no, for real, what will we call the company name? And I'm like, C4. All my children, Dan. All my kids, that's how it went down. I said, C4. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, C4. Like, what's that? And I'm like, 1888 call for. They're like, what? I'm like, music, lighting, decor, event rental. C4 Event Group. So I look at my buddy at the time. I was like, yo, call blah, blah, blah's mom, shorts for calendar or whatever. I'm like, see if C4 Event Group's available in Jersey. I'm like, oh, seriously. Like, text her to see if it's available. I said, in DVA, it's C4 DJs. He said, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. He called, it was available? I said, cool, yeah. I'm doing it. Like, there's no way that's premeditated. I'm like, no, it was. There was no premeditation. That's off the cuff. C4. And that was it. That was it. That's how it was created. There was no like, oh, I'm going to leave this company and start that. It was over bacon and eggs.
So what was the first client then?
Well, in my line of work, it's all branding. It's all, you create your own content. This line of work right now, service industry is very, very hard. Now,
what is C4 and what is the line of work that you're in to help the audience?
Primarily the easiest way to say it, but I have to learn how to explain it a little bit more in depth because, people know me as 17-year-old Chris Ox. People know me as 43-year-old Chris Ox. It evolves. Like my biggest analogy is like, I could be doing a wedding. That's a kid party in my town, Middletown. And then Saturday night I could be at, the Ritz-Carlton, and Alicia Keys could be performing there for a dance, which has happened. So it's like so hard, but now it's like, this is the way of the world. Content. I have to explain like, we can adapt to your clientele, whether it's a keg party, we're picking in a backyard, or we're playing with Alicia Keys, like dead ass serious. So my line of work, primarily the easiest way for whoever's going to watch this is we are a DJ entertainment company. But it goes a lot. It goes beyond that. Let's just say you guys, when you guys have a 55 million person audience, Chris, we got to rent out a warehouse, so I need sound, I need backline, I need 10 microphones. Chris, we're going to need walkie-talkies for staff. I need porta potties for people to imagine. When I say no problem, it's no problem. It gets done. And it's been like that quite a few times. But like I said, it all depends on the client. And that was it. My biggest thing is man of my word. Like on my way here, 4 text messages. Give me an hour, I'll call you back. They won't even respond like, okay, you sure? It's like, Pete, I'm going to call back.
So what's the hardest thing about event coordination?
The hardest thing about anything that I do, you want to call it event coordination, is the reliability factor. When I have to rely on somebody, my anxiety takes over. Very bad way to live. So if anybody's getting into business, just remember that. That's my biggest problem.
So being in business for 20 years, C4 as a big company today, what are some of the adversities you face daily, weekly, monthly, that really you have to overcome? And as you overcome them, what does that do for you?
I'm going to just forget that my line of work in general, just in life, in work. What really sucks is my anxiety. I have to get over anxiety. It takes over my body. I thank God every day I never tried a drug or anything along those lines because I would probably be dead. You have to remember this, and I'm going to refer to construction just because it's an analogy here. Or a plumber. Pipe breaks, Mrs. Rubenstein, shut that valve off. We'll be back Monday to fix it. No worries. They're happy you're coming back. I have a client that'll spend $3,000 on a wedding or $300,000 on a wedding. There's one shot to make it perfect. One shot. So there's a lot riding on my plate. You guys ready for work? Don't forget Friday here, there. Ooh, shit, I forgot my clothes. I'm driving to Kohl's with a 20-year-old kid, which does not get fuck that he's in sweats. I'm like, walk into Kohl's. Here's a credit card. Go get a brand new jacket, pants, and a black shirt. Don't worry about a tie. It's crazy. It's a lot riding on the plate. More Vancordian core hospitality. There's a lot. People don't talk about this. They talk about the cool photo booth that they have, or you got to see where you bought a fucking vinyl plotter or put your logo on the floor and a sticker. Fuck's after the place hours. Tell these people what's real now.
The service.
You're on the way to a job and a tire blows out, and there's a young kid driving who doesn't even know what a jack is. Now what?
Scary. What the truth? You know what I mean?
Detail hours in 2 hours, so about a 4 hours worth of work in 45 minutes. People don't get that. That's the content I'm going to eventually put out.
Yeah, so being in the service and hospitality industry, knowing how difficult it is to get into and thrive, why did you choose it?
You want to know something? I'm going to tell you how it started. 1995, maybe 96. I was my 8th grade graduation. I was a Catholic schoolboy. There was only 30 of us in the graduating class. And they hired a DJ. We're in a big, Catholic school, Staten Island gymnasium, and there's 30 of us. We were like cockroaches. And, we were afraid to dance. You told me years ago, nobody, they ain't like it is now. I grabbed the wired mic. It was me. Let's do it. Everybody, come on. Freshman year, I went into a Catholic high school. And I met some kids that were quote-unquote DJs. So I was like, wow, that's fucking cool. I look at them a couple of months in, I'm like, we have we're going to do the Halloween dance. What do you mean? I booked this Halloween dance. Yeah, I spoke to the principal. We got an Halloween dance. I don't even own a piece of equipment. True story. My dad's like, you're going to play music? You're going to end up washing fucking cars. I'm like, that's car dealer. Freshman year, 1996, 95, 196. These speakers were at a trade-in. Here, take them. Big empty Xboxes. And then an iRock or something. They were all built out. But my man didn't have money to buy an amp. So he had an old Onkyo receiver under the seat of the car. So we figured out how to make stuff work and this and that. But, that's how it started. I sold myself before I sold equipment. Nowadays, if you go on a podcast or go on, social media, they're talking to you there's a beautiful Rode mic or Shure SLX, blah, blah. They're selling you Best Buy or PC Richards. They're not selling you what you do. They're selling you equipment. Watch that. You're going to look after this. You're going to look online. You'll Google DJs and you'll see how they're selling you the consumer equipment instead of personality, service, the 185 5-star reviews. It's all a gimmick. It's sad.
So besides you being in the entertainment world, your home life, your family life is almost like entertainment. The stuff that you put out with your family. Talk a little bit about that. Chicken nugget, my favorite when I see videos of chicken nugget.
I say it every day. I'm not going to say it because she'll see this. If I wasn't married to my wife, I don't know where I would be. True story. My mother-in-law's a gem. How she deals with us is beyond me. Jump on my personal page. You'll see we had a Jets game where yesterday I was torturing her. She's awesome. But my home life is, Bill, it's difficult. I don't make it easy. Once again, stress of this business. It's a 24-hour business. DJs want to wear cool, funky shoes and cool hairdos and all this shit. It's not. When you're in hospitality the way it is and people truly rely on you or have the trust in you, you answer your phone at 3 o'clock in the morning. It got to the point that when I was dating, she's my wife now. Who is that? I don't even know. The number's not programmed. I'm just answering it back. That's what it is. I know it comes off like I'm trying to make a joke out of it. It's not, but that's how I built my brand. I always delivered when somebody hit me out with something, always. So home life, back again, I put my wife on a platter right there. My wife definitely helps me mentally as much as I can. Unless I got to keep putting on men's or shrink. She helps it out. My son Christopher is 15 going on 40. He knows more at 15, not by business, in life. In just life, he knows more than I did at 15 years old. I have to go to work. I'm starting my day, even though my job starts at 8, I'm starting at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The lock on the front door is loose. Can you go grab a Joe gun and tighten that down? Or if you want to go dirt bike riding, it's Friday. So on Sunday, you got to clean this, boil that, and that, throw it in the trailer now, lock the trailer down. I don't know if there's many kids like that do that nowadays, but, home life, my son Anthony, he told me he's a carbon copy of me. He has an unbelievable personality. I think he has a shot of maybe taking my business over because, I'm sure it's very different. I meet 1,000 people a week. I'm in schools doing school events. He's in 5th grade. When the principal or the, school security comes over and they're like, we talk to him like he's a grown man. I says, because I talk to him like he's a grown man. And you act up, you get a problem. Like, don't be stupid. But, home life is definitely, what I make of it. I'm very rarely home, which sucks. It's getting to me now after all these years being in business. But the Nugget just has a personality that you can't teach.
You need to make a YouTube channel with Nugget.
Izzy, if you watch this, my buddy Izzy, who was my video about when I first started in 2017 with C4, he bypassed all the C4. He goes, you have to run a program with him on YouTube.
Or like TikTok. You would say,
something. He is
blow up.
Is that right? Nickname or a chicken artist?
So he plays football. Some cheerleader was like, older cheerleader. Oh my God, he's so cute. He's like a chicken nugget. So now it's like, you're 5th grade now. Chicken nugget's out. It's like, I'm just Nugget. But the guys from Growing Up Italian Podcast found him, and New York Nico found him. We brought him up there to do something. I'm like, we're Italian, but we're not like fucking gabagol, this, that. But no, he's a normal kid. You know what I'm saying? You can't ask him no trick questions. He's a normal kid. He's not fake. He's like me. He's straight shooter.
Yeah.
So they put him on the Growing Up Italian Podcast. And then he's my son. I'm not sitting here capping, I'm going to get rich off him. If you want to go, he was ecstatic. No, these guys want you to go, we're going to go to Brooklyn. These guys want to put you on a podcast. He started looking at all the content. Oh, go. Good. And I told him, I said, Joe, just speak to him like he's a minute. Like he'll go into actor mode real fast. Just talk to him normal.
Absolutely.
So they got a kick out of him. They did that podcast with him. Whatever happened yesterday, whatever happened, nothing really happened. It's like, I'm not driving to New Jersey to hang out with you guys in Brooklyn every day. It's just not happening. I think they wanted more of like they wanted the agents, which is cool. Everybody's got their thing. I can't commit as a dad, unfortunately, to bring him, to do food reviews or whatever. They got their hands on the kid Rizzler, it looks like, because everyone will DM my son's page. I monitor it, and it's like, you and the Rizzler should do something together. No, it's cool. You want to do something? Do something. We're not counting the kids, money. Whatever happens, happens. But he actually got called to do, and it came out. It's a really cool story. Some guy messaged me. He's like, hey, I was called to contact you. I heard you're Anthony's dad. And I'm like, what's this all about? I won't be you do. I'm stupid in school. I'm not even looking at the page. I'm just looking at the DM. So I'm like, yeah, here's my cell. Just call me. He's like, hey, I'm Joe, blah, blah, blah. He's like, I'm a talent director for, I don't even know what company it was at the time, but they were part of Kith. No, I'm no fashion plate. I don't know, clothing like that. So then my buddy's like, bro, AIM de Leon or some shit, whatever. They're on Mulberry Street in the city. So I'm like, all right. I'm like, what do you need? He's like, we're doing like an urban version of Sandlot. He's like, I think Nugget would be a perfect fit. All right, and when do you need it? This day during the day. I'm like, he's in school. He's like, it might be worth it for you to like let him to school. I said, no, he's not going to want to go to school. If it's beautiful, we'll bring it up. I confirm. I find out that the clothing company is an off division of Kith, which Kith did something with BMW. Like they're big, the brand. And we're doing something for the New York Reds. So it's a stickball scene and they're like throwing balls. I don't know. I'm like, I look at the guy Joe. I'm like, just start rope. He was like, what do you mean? I'm like, he'll abuse me. He's going to come back at you. So you kidding me? I'm like, yeah. I said to my son Anthony, I'm like, you're mic'd up. You can't curse. I said, Joe messes, but you give it back to him. It was like a 90 or 120 day payout. The next morning, can you please send over everything right now? They want to pay Anthony right now. They didn't use anyone else in the commercial but Anthony. He's got a personality. We'll see where it goes. So he's only.
Hey guys, quick interruption to the show. Please don't forget to follow us and like us.
You can find us on Spotify and YouTube. Hit that like button. We appreciate the algorithm. Thanks, guys.
Love you guys.
My buddy AJ, him and his starter Acosto guys. You know, AJ was in our mastermind. They're like the boom.
Oh, it's just telling me about it.
And that's where the Rizzler's always with that.
Yes.
But I think the shit that you do, even in your kitchen with your son, and the videos, you would blow up beyond those guys.
I truly, because I know the way that the world revolves around like social media, I do too. I just need to get them on board. You know what I mean? That's really it. But 2017, my buddy Izzy was like, forget this shit, dude. He's like, we're recapping parties. He goes, you're going to get duplicated, which happened. He's like, you should really focus on the content with your kids. And like my oldest son, Chris, I torture him, but I torture him out of love. I like, the shit I do to him online, and he's fucking. One day,
Tell your boys like Nugget to start a TikTok channel. Just the shit that you post on like Instagram and shit, just Facebook, just put it on there.
Yeah,
it'd be fucking hysterical, man.
He did something with the guy Little Mo Mozzarella, got like trillions of views. People on the internet are harsh as fuck. Like he was like 8 years old at the time, and they were crushing this little kid. I'm like, bro, he's 8. You fuck, like, had a foul moron. Like, fuck, be commented for, like stupid shit. But he is funny. He is funny. I hope he finds. I didn't know what the fuck I wanted him to attend, so I can't even say how soon he figures out what he wants to do. I said it to him this morning. I said, you should really focus on TikTok a little bit. And, or I actually said to him, I said, learn on a podcast today. Can I come? I said, no, you're going to school. And he's like, I said, you should really do a podcast or just talk to people. Like, grown adults will have a full-fledged conversation with him, and people are like, I can't believe he's 10. Like, you'll never know. Like, if I put a mask on him, you never know. They'll never know. The cage isn't consistent. So it's not consistent.
He'll just randomly be in his kitchen. He'll take a video of his wife, and she's like, you asshole. And then here comes his son, eating something with his shirt off. It's fucking it.
Oh, it's funny. It really is. Like, the other day, the best part, I didn't get in a video. Should I give him money for a book fair? So I'm sitting there keeping my mouth shut because you could tell it's like trying to wake up a rattlesnake in the morning to go to school. So I hear that boom, boom, boom. I'm like, oh, here, so we're going to get good fast. And I have the money for the book fair. Okay? Where do you want it? Just put it down. It's like it's like videotaping, like they're husband and wife. I'm just a roommate. So I'm like, I don't say that. She's looking at me. I don't say a word. My head's down. So I'm hiding inside. She's like, Aunt, where do you want the money for the book fair? Well, for the 5th time. If I'm taking my book bag to school, wouldn't it be smart to put the money in the book bag? And I'm like, and she's like, you think this is fucking funny? I said, I think it's hysterical, to be honest with you. So
he begs out, but they made like a little like spin-off show on her household. It'll be
that's reality TV, not this Jersey Shore shit. Like, it's funny. It really is funny. And he'll act like a complete dick at home. The teachers will write a letter, principal will write a letter. He's the best. Like, the principal hit us up, was like, hello, Mrs. LaConte? And I'm going to call my wife. I'm like, so she's like, I have to, and the principal has to be super, like, educated. My man, just get to the point. What do? We bought him a shirt. It's on Amazon. We want to just confirm in school. It says, like, Nug Life. It's a chicken nugget, like, dressed in, like, shades and shit. I'm like, Mr. P, you could give him the T-shirt. We approve, bro. Just give him the T-shirt. Like, if that's what you're worried about, like, go ahead, give him the T-shirt. Like, he can hold a conversation with adults, but he's very respectful outside the house. Like, at home, he just knows how to push buttons. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could push my wife's buttons to the max. Send it to her.
He's a little. Listen to him. He's a little.
Baby.
I did.
Yeah, I kids. Yeah, 2 boys. Yeah, 2 boys. Yeah, 2 boys.
So, question for you: outside of all this laughing and joking, when you do get to sleep, what keeps you up at night?
Oh, I was always go back. We're going to go back a few years. If I said I was going to bed, I would fall asleep right here on this couch. Nowadays, I get up and I get out of the room so I don't wake my wife up. I stay up all night. Like, up all night. Like, it's bad. Once again, I keep using that word very frequently, anxiety. I could sit here and I drive in silence. Like, the 20-year-old kids that work with me, like, bro, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I'm talking to myself. True story. I don't do it for attention. I drive in silence. People are like, what the fuck's wrong with you? I'm like, nothing. This is just me. A couple of times I've heard the guys in the truck say, like, oh, you got music on? Everything all right? Like, they ask.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to hear you talk about fucking stupid shit. So just put the music on.
Or hear your phones.
Right. Or you guys are typing away. Like, that's how you spoke to girls, through fucking Snapchat at 20. what do you guys do today? We're going home to chill. I'm like, you just don't go out? Like, we usually ever meet up with these girls you used to up to? But back to what you originally were saying, Juan, would be, I talk to myself. I think too much. Like, I was in the gym this morning. What do you guys
Talk to yourself about
work? What
better specifically about work.
My biggest thing right now is, how do I get bigger? It's not even that. Growth. We use the word growth. Maybe this might help you. My text message this morning was a corporate client. Her exact words to me were, I can't wait to put this party behind me. It's been nothing but a clusterfuck. Even though I've been dealing with you, well, she actually misspelled everything. She's like, although my nerves are fine because I know you're going to be there. So how, in my line of work, do I duplicate myself?
So I think the biggest problem in business is we always try to duplicate ourselves.
Never.
What you have to realize, and I've met some of your DJs, and I see some of these other guys, and we have a lot of mutual friends out there. You have to use people for what they're good for. You are always going to be C4. You're always going to be Chris. You're going to be the main guy. But by being able to grow, you have to find out what qualities every person has and what they suck at. And whatever they suck at, don't let them do it. But whatever they're good at, let them focus on that. And then you're going to be able to expand in those areas by giving those people more authority and more responsibility in just those stations. And then you'll be able to oversee that.
And I think at the same time, you also need to accept a margin of error, right? Correct. The thing that keeps us up all at night is trying to be a perfectionist, right?
So yeah,
I think that if you don't allow that margin of error to occur, you'll never grow into the behemoth of C4 industries that you want to be.
my biggest, I guess you could call it a fear. It's more of a personality-based business. I can't even find, not that I'm necessarily looking, but I am looking. There's not like one person, and I know everybody's riding this out now. No one wants to work. What? There's nobody. There's no one. I mean, maybe your line of work's different than what? You got people knocking down your door for work?
No.
Right. I mean, I'm overpaying.
You can't, when you beg people to work, they still show up.
I'm begging. That's my fucking problem here. Once again,
We all do.
Once again, let's use construction in this. Mrs. Blah, blah, blah. Don't worry. We're going to be there with a crew of 5 on Monday. Enjoy your weekend. Blah, blah, blah. Weather's beautiful. We'll see you Monday. You could float it till Monday. Monday, you figure out how you get in there, how many people you bring in, right? Correct? Okay, no problem. There's no redos. That's my problem. So you ask me, why do I keep doing it? I don't know. It's in the veins. I just do it. But it's, it's crazy. I had a mother or a bride call me crying. My daughter didn't go with you. My wedding starts in 2 hours. DJ's a no-show. How do you think I feel? It's crushing me inside.
You know what I see some other DJs doing? They basically they're the brand, and then they bring in other DJs underneath them, and basically they're all solo individual DJs, and then they put them out, but then they have to represent that company. I don't know how they're doing it or whatnot, but I don't want to mention any names, but you see some of these.
You could see it. That originated in my office.
And that's what you do, right? You know me, everybody else knows you do.
That, what you're saying and who you're talking about is cool. I know who you're talking about, but I'm just going to tell you that method of business started in Brooklyn, then migrated to Staten Island on literally Highland Boulevard, right near Old Town Road, no names. And that's how they made a monster brand. But the moral of the story is, someone like myself, if I was the head of the triangle, I make the money. There's no room for growth with everyone else. You're an owner-operator. So now it's going to be a conflict of interest. What happens if he wants to come work directly under you now? There's no business structure. There's no structure. That's the problem. That's why a lot of people veered left, veered right, this, that, and then the person you're talking to was from Jersey and came to Staten Island to start generating business. His brand, his style of working style.
Well, you know what it is a plus two. What I see with this person is that what they were before when they were solo, and everyone loved them and everyone liked them, but now you're sending an off person to you. People are getting so upset.
Problem.
Yep.
Problem.
Because you're not creating culture. You're just saying, hey, I booked you guys. Basically, this guy's a broker for other DJs, but people want to hire A, right? And you're sending them Z, and that's not what I signed up for.
Also don't understand, like, once again, when I'm going to be doing a lot of self-content again, is you calling and asking a price for something. You don't know what to need. You don't know what you need yet. I have 15 leads right now sitting on this phone. All they care about is a price. Because the person that is creating the content is selling them this beautiful black microphone with the chrome end on it. They're not selling them what we're going to do to make sure your kid's party or wedding, that there's 40 kids and all 40 are going to be at the team, not running around hanging from the chandeliers or throwing napkins and knives and forks. You know, I wasn't trying to stick to the wedding industry so much with that, but you guys don't have a clue what really goes on. Like, it's wild. So that's the industry.
That sounds like a sales obstruction. How exactly do you get over that? How do you overcome those?
By right now, I haven't figured that out. I built a facility you saw online. I built, instead of having an office somewhere else, a warehouse space somewhere else. Just when you're in sales mode or you're dealing with clients, you forget that, oh shit, we broke that speaker pole, we need to repair it. It's in front of my face now. You know what I mean? I make it so much easier. It's in front of my face. So I'm able to, all right, this appointment's done, I got 2 hours to the next. I can go in and fix stuff. But back to what you were saying is, I can't even get people in the door. Everything I do is face-to-face. Can't even get somebody in the door because of the internet.
Do you ever see a point where, maybe as you sit and looking at your phone, can't help yourself? I could tell. It's not like an issue. You literally cannot help
It's a disease.
So I assume, where if you're on a podcast and you can't help but look at it, I guarantee you could do it at home 24/7, right? You ever see a path to not having to do that? To look at your phone 24/7?
I feel that if I put somebody to just manage this phone, I'd lose everything I have. In my mental, it's
Do you think that should be a fear?
It's definitely a fear. 100% a fear. People want to speak to me.
Is that a reasonable fear?
Double-edged sword here.
If you could find someone, why not find someone who could maybe drive around with you for like 3-4 months, listen to how you talk, listen to how you do things, and become your call filter,
Buffer. Yep. If I gave someone $500 a day to show up to work to do that, there'd be an excuse why they're not there Wednesday.
It sounds like just an excuse not to get the person.
It does. It does. I had somebody call out of work Friday night for Saturday night.
So I put a podcast out this morning and it talked about failure being a tool. And I think, a lot of things that you've been through and like you love what you do, you love being the face of your company, and what you don't want to see is a belly flop. And you know what? Failure is inevitable.
Yeah.
But I think that if you just kind of like, hey, I'm going to just fucking do this. You know what? If I fucking bang my face on the floor, I'm going to do it. But you don't know. And I think you're making these preconceived ideas that it's not going to happen because of other people who let you down.
Oh, I'm like a tarnished ex-girlfriend. I'm the first one to tell you. I'm mentally fucked because of other people. 100%. For 25, what you guys are hitting me with is what I'm going to try to do. I've already indirectly gave some people some, hey, call Jennifer and Matthew. They said that an inquiry in. Did you ever call Jennifer and Matthew? Oh, no. So now what? Yeah, I indirectly said, go call Jennifer and Matthew, and let's talk to them. And you know what it is? When you're around people, and you're not around the right people, it becomes a problem. So the thing is, with this line of work, people think it's fake. That's the fucking truth of it. People think it's fake. I was just in California dirt bike riding. Okay, and then it's going to go back to DJing. I was in Gladys, dirt bike ride. I've met some of the wildest people in the world, financially stable, people living in tents that are millionaires. Like, I've seen and learned so much just going to the desert. So the dude's like, he started following me from social platform. And you know what he said to me? He's like, bro, I don't know how the fuck you did it. And he goes, I called 2 DJs from New Year's last year. Nobody even called me back. I went out to wherever it is to Cali, like a guitar center or whatever. He goes, I bought a lead ribbon myself. Like, people think it's a fake business. That's the problem.
Because you're a man of your word and everyone just stands everybody up.
I mean, I'm sure there's other people that are man in their words too. I didn't create the push-up bra yet, but I truly care about what I do. But I can't find a person around me that cares about. Forget about servicing the customer and wanting to make money.
So this world has become so much different in the last, I would say, 10 years with the handouts and everything going on. And that's the biggest problem in business is that everyone figures, why should I show up when I can just get something, number one. Number two, the entrepreneurial world has literally slowed down because of this whole influencer bullshit.
Yes.
And everyone wants to make money on a post, make money on YouTube, make money on that. Like, we don't do this to make money. We do this to bring value to people. And if it does and it changes one person's lives, great. We did our job for free. But at the end of the day, we just want to say thank you, put a comment, put whatever. But the problem in this world is that even like I see you differently with your kids and with the way I'm with my kids is like I push them to be entrepreneurial. I make them work hard. You make your son load up. I make my son do what he's got to do. But other parents aren't doing that. Oh, you're playing your video game? Here, I'll bring you dinner in your fucking room and sit on your nice chair and eat. My kids eat at the table. They don't eat in their room. My kids don't have video games. Like, this is the way this world is so fucked up, and it's so hard for us to go out there and get people who are reliable because their parents are a bunch of pussies and they groom them like this.
Abby, you were the one that said this. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I come from a very middle-class area, Middletown. We keep for Santa House, so we're really judgmental, whatever. And then some of the parents were like, I had no idea, like, that's why your son has what he has. I says, I could leave at the time a 12, 13, 14-year-old, like in my shop. That's going in black van, one, or white van, and I don't even have to worry. Y'all coming back to the shop to grab that truck to go to a job. Let's go over to Lobless. Yo, it's done. I hired a kid who's averaging $800 to $2,000 a week. Oh, bro, I forgot, bro. How many forgets? You want to stand there for 4 hours while the speaker up? Like, that's why I'm going back to like my town and this and that. People are very judgmental. How come he has this? How come he has that? I'm like, yo, he works. Like, the kid works. I put him in pre-K3 because I didn't want him around the low lives I was around fucking 10, 12 years ago. I put him in an early schooling. I said to my wife, yo, there's a pre-K3 around the corner from your job. You're only working a couple of days a week. We'll put him in there, half days, pick him up on the way home, whatever it is. Just let him be around people his age. This and that. I didn't want him at 2, 3 years old in my warehouse, working.
Yeah.
That's too young for that at that age. But it's the Nugget's a little on the like he's my number 2 son, but he's like my number 1 son. He's like he's a real 10-year-old. My oldest was never a baby. Like my 15-year-old, he was just like,
yeah, see,
I got it. I got it. I'll do it.
But here's what people don't understand. Like a dirt bike or a quad costs just as much money as those 3 screens of your kids' video games and their headphones and all this bullshit. But what are you doing to your kid? You do the stuff with your kids. You're in the side-by-sides. You're on the quads. You're on the dirt bikes. You're having fun with all your friends. We see it. We have mutual friends. We do the same thing. I don't go to Glamis. I've never been there. I'd love to go there. But, we actually rode side-by-sides together before. And, this is something that we enjoy with our kids. And you're having us time. You're enjoying each other. You're building memories. Not like, all right, kids home from school, 2 o'clock, go sitting there, 7 o'clock, I'll bring you your dinner. Hey, make sure you're in bed by 10. This is what people do. And they condition their kids to be absolutely driven. That way they don't have to bother them. They don't have to entertain them. They don't have to do this shit.
What got to me once, and just to feed off of what you were just saying, was like, I heard a kid say like on like, they play video games at home, but stay on FaceTime with each other. It's the fucking weirdest thing in the world. Like, there's a group of 13 people's faces on their iPads or iPhone, but they're playing against each other, yelling and screaming. But I heard one kid, which means his parents were fucking talking. And it was like, oh, it's Saturday, your dad's home? I was like, I went in the other room. I said to my wife, I said, find out who said that, because I don't want to ask. Or find out what mother and father were talking about me, that I'm not around. Like, I go out gallivanting, and I have like a fucking second life somewhere. That irked the shit out of me. Or like when these crazy football coaches, because a lot of them are crazy, they'll just throw a game in on the schedule without letting people know. Like every parent is off on a Saturday at fucking 2 in the afternoon. Like, cause your day shut off Friday at 4, you're gonna just throw a football game in on the schedule, not thinking another parent's work.
Yeah.
So we got a couple of crazy football dads in the circuit around there to do shit like that. That gets to me too. Like, where do you think I am? I did not come to your family barbecue because I was at somebody else's. I was at work.
Yeah.
So I guess it gets to me now. What I'm trying to overcome, if you want to call it a fear or whatever, I'm truly trying to work on it. I guess maybe it's not working fast enough, but I've been tarnished for years, trying to give somebody just a little bit of authority. Like, this is real. This isn't fake. You know what I mean? Like, you'd rather go push a car around at fucking Costco because you're getting a check. You want me to just have, the check company check to your house? Or do you want me to sell it when you need it? Or when you're broke at the bar at 3 a.m., can you just sell me like 100 real quick? And I'm like trying to fall asleep. And my wife's like, what are you doing? I'm selling this guy somebody that has no money and he's at a bar. He has no right being at a bar. But I'm still going to sell him that 100 is on that person.
Yeah. You said something on your intake form that I found interesting. If you were to lend advice to anybody, it'd be that not to think that you're better than anybody else, or you could do something better than somebody else. Can you elaborate on that?
That's the biggest thing with nowadays. Everybody wants to act like they're the bestest. Like I tell my kids all the time, I'm not the best. I stay consistent. Like I have friends like, always got that fucking phone in your hand. You always recording something. I'm like, yo, like they could either aspire somebody to get off their ass and do something, or it could stop. You know, you want to talk about haters. You get people, you know, the judgmental people like who'd rather not do anything and use an excuse. Me, I'm the one that jumped into fires with all my friends. I still have like childhood friends from like kindergarten and up. Phone's still going off. Consistency. Like never think you're better. That's all. Help. You just said your son's getting mentored by someone. That person happens to be a very close friend of mine. I'm 10 to 12 years older than him. To have a conversation with a kid that's 30, and I'm like, fuck, that makes sense. I ain't got a 43-year-old I could talk to about business.
Yeah.
I got a friend of mine on the way here. 55 minutes of he's retiring from his city job. Doesn't know what to do now. Needs to find another career, 43. You jumped into that because you were bred that. You're going to work for the city and you're going to get this and your pension. Well, you know what? You live in $1.5 million house. The pension you're taking home doesn't cover the mortgage. Now what?
Yeah, that's the golden rule.
Right.
Work for 40 years, retire on 40% of your income, and it doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
You know?
But nobody was taught that. 50 minutes, 55 minutes. Out of a 55-minute ride at 50 minutes, I'm like, figure out what you want to do. We'll do something. Figure out what you want to do. We'll do something. Like, that was my whole ride here.
Yeah, the plan for life is so messed up in school, and the way that we're growing up and the way that we're groomed. And do you have entrepreneurship in your family? Like, is it something that you came from, or is it something that you started?
Honestly, I've never said this to anyone before. I think it was just what really, I mean, Jesus, 20-something years ago, everyone. So, I mean, the entrepreneurship, my dad is an entrepreneur. Let's just say that. But we're going to get back to that. You know, my line of work, everyone wanted to do. No one wants to do anything now. You know what I mean? So back to 20-something years ago, you want to go to a party. We didn't have this to talk to girls or to network or to talk to people. Like, you had to be out to meet someone. So with that being said, I became an entrepreneur because I wanted to work so hard doing this. No one gave me the opportunity. And I still think about it now, like, what if I got a job with these guys? Where would I be right now? They'd have offered me a job. What if I worked with that crew? When I have? So, like, I have friends of mine, I'll go, you're really doing this? I'm like, yeah. So to get back to what you're saying, what really kept me focused in my line of work and stayed, I worked construction as a kid. I had zero interest in it. I'm dead ass serious. I worked construction. I worked with a guy where we do 75 window installs a day. I didn't even know where the work was coming from because I didn't care. My man was doing 40 windows from Lowe's, 50 windows from a Home Depot, this directly for Peller and Anderson. I remember it now but I had zero interest in it. I was ripping out windows. Some of them I would throw from the second story down to the dumpster. Some I'd have to carry through the house, but zero interest. I just wasn't in me. It's not what I wanted. And I was, you know, as a kid, I did it on the side. I did the bars. I did this. Now you're talking to a grown-ass man. I really want to do this restaurant Thanksgiving Eve. What do you want to do? That's what you want to do? Want to use it for 4 hours at a restaurant? Like, they're going to give you that. We took care of your dinner. Here's a couple of drinks. Have a good night. Like, what really, back to everything that motivates me in the whole entrepreneurship is, I think it was like I see my dad struggle, and I never want to struggle. I think that's really what did it. I've never really said it to anyone, but I've definitely experienced it and witnessed, you know, my dad struggle. And I'm like, I can't let this happen to me. Mm-hmm. And now, like, you know, Christmas times right now, I'm getting Christmas lists. Telling me, what gas station got a lot of money, bro. I'm going for it. But I'm like, what are we doing here? The only leniency my oldest has is because he plays football 7 days a week. So I don't want him to jump into, I know this is like going against myself here because all I do is work. You got to still be a kid. Like, I was never a kid. I jumped right into the work scene. And, you know, some of the friends that I still have friendships with because they know You know, they know what it is. But, I mean, he works when he's not playing football. You know, he's not going to college for ball, but in 2 more years, he's done. But for all that ball, you know, at the Turkey Derby, one last time in 2 years, and then he's going to figure out what he's going to do. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of like a little lenient with him, but when it comes to like what keeps me going and this and that was actually seeing my pop struggle. We never lost anything. We never, you know, we still have our scene house we grew up in and this and that.
It hits home as hits your heart, yeah.
You can't explain that to somebody who don't care about money.
Yeah.
You can't. You asked, I gave it to you. It's probably the first time somebody's ever asked me that. That's why I'm telling them. You know?
What kind of advice? Let's say that someone came up to you, because there are a lot of people online who watch you, even though there are haters, we all have haters.
Yeah, no, it's not. A lot of people watch the analytics show.
But there's people who actually like really respect you. There's people who actually love what you're doing. If that person were to come up to you, let's say that I'm a younger guy and I'm driven, I want to work, I want to do. What kind of advice would you give the younger version of you if they wanted to become a business owner?
I recently had someone that came up, and not even a business owner, just in my line of work. Want me to answer about my line of work or just in general? Business on the block. I had a kid called a union kid. He's like, yo, I when COVID hit, we were in school. He goes, I didn't want to go back to school. I said, you were 16. He's like, yeah. It got me in my union book, and I went right to work. I said, I haven't heard that in years. 16-year-old kid, you know, in a laborers union. He's like, yeah, I went from laborers union. He goes, I went up the pole in the laborers union during COVID. They were still working out there. He's like, then I'm doing, concrete work for different union. I'm like, oh shit. So the kid's 18. I'm like, so how the fuck do you want to say? Egypt. I just like it. All right. You like it. That's great. You still didn't talk to me about money yet, which is good. Usually it's, I want to make money. And then, you cut hours in your pocket and you're done. So if you're going to do something and you want to do something, stick with it. Like, that's really it. I stuck with it.
And you got to love what you do. Money has to be secondary.
Always.
That's the problem, is everyone wants to know
Quick
good body, quick fuck, microwave generation, 30 seconds, I'm rich.
Yep.
Shit doesn't have microwave generation.
It is.
Yep. Yeah, look, 90 second soup, 90-second rice. Everything in the world that we live in today is they want to hit the 30-second button and they want it to be done.
Until we're done, I'm frying. Order it. I want it in my hand right now.
Well, we were kids, our mom had to stir the pot of rice. That shit took 30 minutes. Now it's done in 90 seconds.
Honestly, I've been trying to break away from such like the negative, the toxic people. And toxic people, I mean the people that don't want money, that don't want work, don't want to do anything. They just, I can't have a conversation.
You undriven, yeah.
Undriven. So
now you're starting to spend time, like you were talking about us before, you're in a group with other business owners. And,
yep.
You've always surrounded yourself with the people that you work with, the people that work for you.
Always.
But now it's like, hey, I started surrounding myself with people who are like-minded, including like some of these guys that are out in Glamis.
Yeah.
And just by having those conversations with other entrepreneurs, like, what does that do for you?
It's almost like my head. I did a whip of helium. I'm on cloud 9, man. Like I was speaking to a guy in Brilliance, and then we got interrupted. And I'm like, I don't count nobody's chips on that. I was never born and raised that way. I don't care what you have. But this guy I was with was a fucking multi-millionaire. He had a way of showing it, but, come in the RV and eat. I'm like, yeah, we'll go cook it. He goes, bring your food inside, come and eat. We go in his RV. His RV's out of control. And then you start talking, I'm like, bro, I was like, I've been on the phone just as much as you, and I'm a fucking DJ. And then when you sit down, he has a normal convo. He's like, I'm an electrical company. I do residential work just to pay for this. I don't want to do residential work. My residential work, because of the people around the area, is so easy. I have 13 trucks a day. They generate between 1,000 and 2,000 a day each truck a day.
Oh.
Residential work is a joke for us. I do all new construction, new build, new this, commercial work. And I'm like, holy fucking shit. That's awesome. Motivating. We're at an RV in the desert. I haven't showered in 3 days. And I'm having a conversation about that burrito, and he's on the phone the same way I am. And it's like, you got 20 trucks out a day, 5 days a week, generating between 1,000 and 2,000 a truck.
Well, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, your phone never stops, and the real world doesn't understand that. But what I saw over the course of the last 5 years is everybody's on their phone, but 95%
And no generating money.
95% of people are wasting their time on the phone.
Right. My whole crew right now is younger kids. So while we drive, I have to pick them up. There's no parenting. make sure their hair's cut, this, that. My kids, like, kind of got a little jealous about it, too. I seen it. I said to my wife, I said, you should be as the mother letting them know that, yeah, you guys are my kids. I need them for work. You're not quitting school to go work in the entertainment industry. Like, I treat these couple of kids around me like a dad. I'm like, did you just fucking tell me that somebody offered you a job to do insurance sales? You don't know how to speak. What fucking insurance sales are you doing? He's going to put you in school? What school? What school are you looking up? We're like an Applebee's or something. And I'm like, I'm getting aggravated talking to this kid. I'm like, you don't know how to speak. You don't cut your fucking hair. You stink like meat. You smoke a fucking vape pen all day. What insurance and who are you selling insurance to? Like, let's go back to the drawing board. Yeah, that's what you're telling me? And he's, you're right. I'm like, were you just trying to start the conversation? Like, what were you trying to do? I was getting so heated. And the one kid that brought him in, I kind of like, well, they're going to see this. I don't give a fuck. I'm like, you're 19, 20 years old. You're not on the same players field as these kicks. You're not. You got to separate yourself now. These kids are just going downhill and downhill fast.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, yes. Moral of your story, like, hey, look at this. I don't give a fuck about the kid swerving in and out of lanes in a car that's stolen. That does nothing for me. I see that in real life 30 years ago. I've witnessed that. That's cool.
We're starting off, idiot, shit for fun.
That was for fun. Like, would die. I did that already. I'm good. So it's like, it's a different time, man. It's a different time in it, and being an entrepreneur. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur until it's time to be an entrepreneur.
Right, but it's time to pick up the phone.
Right.
Continue to look at it. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning, answer phone calls.
Or you're pacing around your house and your wife's ready to stab you because she can't sleep because you're a heavy foot and you're just walking around up and down the stairs and you're talking to yourself and you're looking at social media because, unfortunately, it's a sickness. It's the way of the world. And you're like, oh, wow. We did that a year and a half ago and never put it online. Now this guy's walking around like dick swinging like Korean butcher bro.
Well, good. You are a very entertaining person, like running a very successful entertaining company. So, it's looking to be entertained. They have a venue or some kind of party that they're looking to shoot about. How can they find you?
C4 Event Group is the company name. Let me mute that phone again. C4 Event Group is the company name. You can check us out. I would steer you more towards Instagram because that's, the content is more up to date, better than my website. You'll find my personal page through that as well. If you want to laugh and see what, behind the scenes footage is like, that's what the way of the real world really is. You guys like watching videos, so definitely check that out. But C4 Event Group, just Google us. We'll pop up.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, guys, make sure you're following us. He's going to have a fantastic episode we just had here. Make sure you're following us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. We appreciate all of you. Chris, thank you for being our guest today.
No, I really appreciate you guys have to be nice. Thank you so much. I think it means the world. And I'm just a DJ. I'm sure you got a lot better guy following than me, but
not as entertaining, though.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
All right. We'll see you guys next week.
All right.